One of the things I understand, Mark, that you've brought in having conversations with a number of your coworkers is a more macro sensibility as it pertains to global hospitality and tourism. And I know in particular what excites you is innovations on that front, and on the hospitality side, and in reaching those sorts of customers. As you've jumped into this mix, what sorts of innovations have excited you, maybe on the hospitality side or on the gaming side? What have you seen as a relative newcomer to these floors?
Well, as you know, Caesars is one of the best, if not the best, loyalty programs with Total Rewards. And you know, when we look at Total Rewards and how gaming-centric it is, it provides an opportunity for us on the hospitality side. So you could be a $40,000 customer in a Caesars casino and spend in 3 or 4 days $40,000, but also drop $40,000 on hotel rooms, Omnia the theater, and we don't treat you equally in the hospitality side as we do on the gaming side. So one of the things we're really working on now is how we attract that entertainment, destination-driven customer who really, you know, is as important to us because of the money they spend in our facility as the gaming side. So that's a huge opportunity for us because we're underdeveloped there, and getting the team, the marketing team, very excited.
It's interesting. So if we think about Caesars Palace as sort of the quintessential founding father of sorts of the modern integrated resort and all that that means, it really is fascinating to me as somebody who studies this industry, the way in which that has fast become sort of the supreme invention in tourism in general. I mean, tourism now is upwards of 10% of the world's economy, and within that 10%, you'd be hard-pressed to find a more lucrative driver of both footprints and dollars than the integrated resort. The integrated resort drives folks to a place better than Disney World. You and I, Greg, were talking about taking our kids to Disneyland and Disney World. Disney World's great, but our kids don't have any money. They have to come to us for money. And this has become, as the old cliche, sort of Disneyland's for adults. But to what degree does the integrated resort really get credit for being an innovative new arrival on the global tourism scene that really is a driving force for example, governments, which I know you deal with all the time, Gavin, in trying to discuss the opportunities in new markets. Does gaming get enough credit for being a driver in these kinds of spaces?
I don't know about gaming, but certainly in my mind, the person who should get credit for the integrated resort trend is Steve Wynn. I mean, opening the Mirage here in Las Vegas in 1989. I mean, in my mind, that was really the first integrated resort with gaming and entertainment and all the other things. And I think the integrated resort trend is a very big trend. I mean, you look around the world, what's happening in Asia, certainly here in Las Vegas and other countries. But one interesting fact is that if you look around the world at all the integrated resorts, the only market where non-gaming revenue is more than gaming revenue is still the Las Vegas Strip. So in Las Vegas, on the Strip, certainly all the non-gaming elements are very important. But around the world, gaming is still dominant. I think that's changing slowly, but I think for a long time to come, you'll see gaming revenue as the more important stream outside of the Las Vegas Strip.
That's an important point as we consider the integrated resort and the importance of non-gaming. The importance of non-gaming has been a very important one in political circles as you try to convince new jurisdictions that it's more than just gaming, but perhaps, again, not reflective in a lot of jurisdictions of the actual breakdowns.
We've got I think a good example of where it works in a city in New Orleans, where at Harrah's we're able to integrate the financial district, the warehouse district, along with the French Quarter all together in one location, which allows foot traffic to cross over and attract people. So that's an example where you're able to take different parts of a city and integrate it into one space and do it in a very positive economic way. And we do really well there, and we continue to invest in that facility because of the way it was situated and the way it does what it does.
Yeah, again, New Orleans illustration is a really good one. I think one that's often used as case studies of a how-to model ultimately.
We think Baltimore's the same thing.
And you've done the same thing.
Right, you've got the sports entertainment district starting to form now. There's the wharf, and it's been very successful. It's beat all of our internal underwriting plans. So that's another example of one where we think it's working, and it's turning the tide in terms of the economic development of the area.
So Gavin, as you look at the integrated resort, there are entirely new parts of the integrated resort that were unimaginable 10 years ago. Think about these nightclubs that you and I frequent. 10 years ago, if you had told us that they would be what they are today, this entirely new sort of animal on the floor, it would have been mind-blowing. Where are those innovations in your sphere? Where are
Yeah.
those innovations in level jumps and paradigm shifts in your world?
Well, if you look at the integrated resort, clearly from the system side and from the mobile side, you know, the cell phone, which most people carry around with them, is a great way to connect the resorts. And as long as the underlying technology enables that, you know, as Mark was saying, that to treat a customer who's spending as much money in a restaurant or a nightclub or a spa or on the golf course, wherever they're spending it, as in the gaming room, you have to facilitate that. But to be able to communicate and market to them through those technologies, I mean, phone's ideal, geo-fencing is fantastic for all of that. So we've been doing a lot of work in that space, bringing the land-based and the online worlds together and trying to make sure that the systems interact smoothly with the other kinds of systems that an operator does. But from an innovation perspective on a manufacturer's side of it, again, it's really taking some of the social kind of games, be it community style, be it, you know, there's a lot of talk of skill-based, but let's just say skill-based is another form of entertainment and gives us an ability to innovate, to trying to make the games more appealing, more entertaining, and to derive some kind of fun factor for players, whatever age they may be.